And we are live. Had a crazy morning. All right, I see Mitch is in the X space. Um, had a crazy morning working on we're still working on our server racks and working with the host company to move some things around, and it's been a little bit of a process. So if you guys see any downtime, that is why that's happening. There's not supposed to be any downtime. So it's kind of scheduled, but not scheduled because we know that we're working on it, but we don't know whether or not it's going to be offline or online at any given moment. So right now it's online. Uh, and it should remain online. It's not supposed to have much downtime at all, but with changing these things around and moving them around, anything can happen essentially. So hoping to keep the UI kind of limping along until everything's fully reinstalled and upgraded. Um, but that's just kind of the current status of the UI. I see that I got Eric and Mitch in the spaces. Can you guys try talking? Eric, you go first. So let me just do like a quick audio check on both spaces and Zoom.
Yes. Can you guys hear me in the audience, in the space audience? Hey guys, glad to see
All right,
you
cool.
for another Wednesday show.
All right, cool. I got you loud and clear there. Mitch, test test.
Rock and roll.
Can you
You
try
got
one
me or
more?
no?
Oh yeah, I got you on Zoom. Okay.
Now you got
All
me?
right, I got you. Yep.
Cool.
Sweet. All right. Well, welcome to back to another One Soon show. I hear Nifty couldn't make it. Um, he had some IRL stuff going on. So you got the OG cat, you got Eric, and you got myself, and we are gonna do this thing. Eric sent me a new background
Ooh.
from Morty, I assume that
Oh, you didn't update?
I
Yep.
gotta update my background real quick.
I just did it with the new logo in the background.
The new. Let's see here. Add image.
Fredcast. Boom.
That's the same one. Oh no, this is the new one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, just with the
With
new
the
logo in the background.
cool. All right. I think I'm good.
Huh. I like task and other people's reasons for why Nifty's actually not here.
He's taking more pictures of his feet, getting ready for only Leos.
A lot of new features.
Speaking of only Leos, we were talking about this yesterday, but I have probably seen 99% of the projects out there are looking to find how can they create a flywheel effect on their token, on their platform, on their ecosystem in general. And most projects don't even manage to conceptualize how the hell are they going to create a flywheel, let alone how they're going to make it start spinning. So I think this is a pretty good topic to maybe not start with, but to talk about during the space because you know, it's funny that we already have that flywheel that everyone is trying to find, and all we need to do is power that flywheel. So
Yeah, it is I keep coming back to this idea that we have, you know, so we have a really interesting setup with INLEO. It's actually exactly a month from yesterday, or yeah, a month from yesterday will be, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but it'll be our 5-year anniversary since Leo began. So, being a crypto project that's survived for 5 years is a feat in and of itself, I think. You know, being here for how many cycles have we seen in the last 5 years? I mean, basically two, maybe three cycles, you know, have been experienced in the last 5 years, and you've got, you know, massive events that have happened. And this is something I want to go through, you know, on our July 3rd, you know, kind of 5-year anniversary party, which Eric and I will need to start organizing. But I want to have like a cool, like kind of like LeoFest type of digital event on that day. So we've got a month to start organizing that. But on that day, I'll go through the history in more detail. But we've experienced a lot of ups and downs in the broader market. We've also experienced massive events that easily could have wiped us out, but that didn't. I would say probably one of the most significant ones where even I was questioning if we would make it through was the transition from Steam to Hive. You know, there was a period of time there where I wondered if the whole blockchain itself would make it, let alone if Leo would make it. You know, there was a few days where I was starting to research what our alternatives would look like in case, you know, the hard fork didn't happen. But obviously, you know, everything kind of went, I think, as well as it could have, and we ended up hard forking, and then Hive was created, and Leo, Steam Leo at the time, migrated over to Leo Finance. That whole transition period, as crazy as it sounds, happened literally in like 7 days or less. That was like, all right, we need to rebrand, we need to move all of our technology, we need to change all of our APIs, and we managed to make that transition, and it just happened in a few days' time. So that's my long-winded way of saying that we've been around the block. We've seen, you know, a lot of different things come and go. We've seen a lot of other projects, you know, start and fail. We've seen Bitcoin, you know, rise and fall. And through all of that, the place that INLEO has reached today is something that I'm really, you know, excited for. It's kind of like, to me, it seems like we're at a major like leaping off point for the entire ecosystem, which is that, you know, now we've got premium and we've got Leo Dex. And I think these are two very core forms of flywheel revenue. And if you don't know how they work, premium generates revenue. You know, if you guys subscribe to premium, it's 10 HBD a month. And we'll also get to this, but this week we're going to launch the yearly subscription option, which is 100 HBD a year. So it's a 16% discount. And 100% of that revenue actually goes to buying the Leo token and buying cacao and pooling them permanently. So 50%. So basically, you can think of it this way: every 10 HBD that comes in, 5 HBD goes towards buying Leo, 5 HBD goes towards buying cacao, and then it pools the total $10 amount permanently on Maya protocol. And Eric was mentioning the flywheel effect because there's several ways in which that kind of perpetuates more growth in the ecosystem, and that is fundamentally what a flywheel effect is that you have something that comes in and it kind of spins the, you know, the economic wheel, and the more that the wheel spins, the more it kind of reverberates on itself. And then, you know, a flywheel essentially is if you have enough power moving through it, it just continually goes. It's like perpetual motion. So the idea behind the Leo flywheel, at least for premium specifically, is that you've got premium subscribers. Right now, there's 248 premium subscribers, and they're 10 HBD a month. You know, comes into the ecosystem. It buys Leo, it buys cacao, it permanently pools it on Maya protocol. And then by creating that permanently increasing liquidity, you then drive more revenue through other value capture models. And for Leo specifically, that's you know, the Arbitrum Leo bridge, because it's obviously Arbitrum Leo on Maya. And then you've also got Leo Dex affiliate fees, and then you've got the Hive aggregator that we built. So you get the initial start of the flywheel is grow your premium subscribers, then you get the HBD coming in and buying Leo and pooling it, which creates obviously some organic buy pressure and then also permanent liquidity. And then that increase in liquidity over time actually leads to more trading volume. And that trading volume is another form of revenue for the ecosystem. And 100% of that revenue also buys Leo and permanently pools it. So it perpetuates itself, and it just kind of keeps going. And then there's even more if you want to kind of keep going along that. there's even more effects where the price of Leo going up actually drives in more users to the platform. And we've seen this kind of play out on Hive for many years now. As the token goes up in value that you earn for creating content and engaging on the platform, more users start to flood in because they obviously want that token. It becomes more desirable to be active. So you kind of get that whole effect going, and then you get more active users, then you get more people that want to be premium, and then you get more money into the flywheel, and then it just kind of keeps pushing on itself. So I've long had this goal of 1,000 premiums. I believe that right now 248 premiums is a really solid number. That's obviously, basically $2,500 a month that's going into the Leo Dash Cacao pool. But I think where things start to get really interesting is, you get to that kind of 5 figures amount where people are looking at it and they're like, wow, $10,000 a month is going into this flywheel and being permanently pooled, which right now $10,000 would be about 8% of the total Leo Cacao pool. So, that would be pretty, pretty measurable growth on a monthly basis that would be pushing that flywheel. So I think I like that 1,000 premium round number for a lot of reasons. Obviously, 1,000 sounds nice, and then 10,000 sounds nice. 5 figures a month sounds really nice. And I think we'll just kind of see that continue to grow and grow and grow. And like I said, over the last 5 years, we've seen a lot of things come and go. But I'm really excited about where the value capture models are right now. And I think, I was telling Eric yesterday, I think what we've done is build the correct models. Like I'm very confident that we now have between Leo Premium and the flywheel, and then Leo Dex and the flywheel that creates. I'm very confident in the value capture model that we've built, and now it's just time to scale it up. So that's kind of my current stance on flywheels and all of that.
Let the wheel turn.
Yeah, I was so this basically, so let's say that we have, okay, maybe not 200, but let's say we have 100 lions decide they want premium for a year, right? Because you get, basically you get 2 free months, and then you get like this status, because I assume there's going to be some sort of status or some sort of badge that people will be able to brag with or brag about. So that's $10,000 straight into liquidity that right now we have in the Leo Cacao pool. There's 110, right? Call 110,000.
I think there's 117,000 now.
Okay, so that's a 9% increase. So I don't know. That's bullish to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really bullish to see that pool kind of consistently grow. It's not growing in like large swaths of like capital being moved in. It's just kind of consistently grinding up and to the right. Because obviously you've got the affiliate revenue of LeoDex and the Leo pool premium subscriber revenue kind of flowing into it consistently, which is just kind of driving that consistently up. But I think one of the really important parts of the liquidity that's being added to that pool is that it's permanent. So it's very different than like if a couple whales came in and just dropped a bunch of liquidity in there, because obviously they can kind of come and go. But this Leo pool premium revenue and then the Leo Dex affiliate revenue is just permanent. It's not going to leave that pool. So it does create some interesting effects. I was checking the Leo Dex affiliate revenue, which I keep saying it's been a little bit disappointing in terms of I was expecting a little bit faster growth in terms of affiliate revenue. Like I was expecting us to kind of come out of the gate and see a lot more growth initially, but it's been more of a slow grind. That being said, it has been slowly increasing. So, if you can't have immediate growth and immediately high numbers. I think the second best thing is that you have consistent, steady growth over a long period of time. Yeah, Taskmaster said growth is growth. I think the second best thing to being like coming out of the gate and just having it being an initial success right off the bat is that we've got consistent growth every single week that I essentially look at the numbers. So I was looking at the affiliate address, and so far it's collected about $412 in affiliate revenue. So that's not bad. If you obviously I was kind of hoping we'd come out of the gate and it'd be like thousands of dollars a month. That would be ideal. But like I said, second best is that we're just seeing consistent growth. So, it started out with, I think we hit like $200 in affiliate revenue after like the first like 6 weeks or something. And then in the last couple of weeks, we've seen the other $200. So it's slowly getting faster and faster. And I do see people in Discord and other places kind of discovering LeoDex, especially in terms of hivers who are looking at it to trade Hive. I did a Hive trade this morning, and I made like 70 cents. I didn't pay any fees. I actually got paid to make a Hive swap. So it's like I said, at the very least, use LeoDex to quote your Hive swaps before you go to a centralized exchange and see if you can get better pricing. And I think that's like kind of the least you could do. And it's in your benefit to do it. So we are seeing that slowly grow. And like I said, it's a little bit over $400 that is pooled up in the affiliate address for LeoDex. And then every time it reaches $500, it will, and it collects affiliate revenue in the form of cacao. So every time it reaches $500, it will actually just add the $500 worth of cacao to the Leo cacao pool, which creates $250 in buy pressure on Leo, and then pools it with the other $250 worth of cacao, and then you obviously get $500 in permanent liquidity. So yeah, like Taskmaster said, I think it's been technically like 2 months since LeoDex launched. That being said, in the first month, really in the first like 6 weeks, it was pretty hard to use LeoDex. It was, there were definitely some bugs and issues. And also there was only the key store wallet option. And kind of in the last couple of weeks, we added MetaMask, we added XDeFi, fixed a ton of bugs, added some new visual elements that make it easier to do swaps, especially Hive aggregated swaps. So it's improved a lot from a UI UX perspective. So hopefully soon we start to see $500 a month. I think that would be kind of a nice initial starting point, and then kind of from there we would see growth and just keep scaling. Like I said, we've got really good value capture models in place. Now it's time to just scale those up and increase, put some zeros behind those value capture models.
Earlier Task mentioned growth is growth, and I mean, it's a good point because obviously you talk about, 1,000 premium subscribers and all that, but the reality is pretty much every month you see growth, month over month change. 90% of the time is positive. And it's just like, I remember when it hit 100 premium users, and now we got two and change, and at some point it's going to be three, and at some point it's going to be four. And, it's so much more of not if, but when, you know? So the growth has been steady, and obviously we always want it faster, but I think that's the key. And, things like premium is an example of that flywheel and actual, true items that make a business viable, as opposed to a lot of other things where it's just speculative capital coming in. This is, recurring. I don't even want to call it revenue, but just ammunition, so to speak, to grow and build. So growth is growth.
Yep, absolutely.
And we have these
Eric, I think you're muted on Spaces.
yeah, I've been
Oh, I
having
thought you were
to
saying.
mute myself, but I read something, but then I missed it. I lost it. But what's the goal for total premium users? So we have 1,300 users right now total in Leo. There's 3,500 users on Hive. the goal would be that all of the users on Hive would at least post something on INLEO every month. So we had 3,000 users on INLEO, and that these users understood that, okay, you are earning, let's say you're earning $25 in content rewards from the Leo ecosystem in general. So you're spending 10 HBD to earn 25, and then you're also getting Leo that benefits from all of these premium subscriptions. So ideally, we would get 3,000, like all of the users on Leo would be premium if you understood how beneficial it is for the ecosystem, but also for yourself, because if the ecosystem grows and the Leo token gets more buy pressure, you benefit yourself. So ideally, it would be 3,000, but if we're being forget the word, but like if we're being real, then I would say 1,000 premium subscriptions is the goal for this year. Good question.
Yeah, my goal is definitely to have 1,000 before the end of the year. So with the team, and I put out a thread about this yesterday. My goal for the team, the ops team, is that we have 20% month over month growth in terms of MAUs and in terms of premiums. So in terms of premiums, the starting point for June 1st was 246. That's how many premiums we had on June 1st. So the goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of the year, and kind of to see that consistent 20% month over month growth. So the goal is obviously to have, like, I think that would be like 298 premium subscribers by the end of June. So that's the goal for this month, and then next month obviously 20% more than that. And then in terms of MAUs, we've got 1,300 starting on June 1st. So the goal is to have a little bit over, I think that's like 1,560 would be a 20% growth in June. So our goal is to grow by a couple hundred monthly active users this month, and then grow by about 50 premium subscribers by the end of the month. So that is the goal, and kind of a good segue into the status of development on INLEO. So we pushed over 103 GitHub issues last month. And just for context, our average in all the months prior was about 15 to 20 GitHub issues getting fixed. And part of the reason for that is that when we're working on features, they take a lot longer than fixing bugs. So 103 things that got pushed in GitHub, those were entirely bugs. There was not a single new feature that got released. It was only bug fixes. So I pushed the team really hard. I think the devs clocked like 3 times more hours than we usually would as a team. So we were really focused on getting to bug free by June 1st. And again, I will define bug free as all the known bugs that are out there. 99% of the known bugs are fixed. So what that means is there still could be bugs. Like, being bug free is never actually possible in software. It doesn't matter if you're a $10 billion company or if you're a $10 million company. You can get as close to bug free as possible, but that doesn't mean that there will be zero bugs. So my goal for the team was get 99% of our known bugs list completed by June 1st, which meant that I think we had about 110 bugs listed on May 1st. So I told the team I want that list 99% complete by June 1st. So by doing 103, we only had about seven or eight bugs that were known but not fixed yet, starting on June 1st. And I think we've already fixed like half of those so far. But and this is what I mean when it comes to having bug-free software, is that we've fixed those bugs. But in the last couple of days, I've already found, like 5 or 6 more bugs and added them to the list. So at the end of the day, it's a game of whack-a-mole, and you're never actually completely done with bug fixes. But the key is, can you get to a critical mass point where 99% of the bugs are fixed that you know about, and as you discover new ones, you slowly are kind of fixing those as you add new features. So we're now in a point where, and kind of like the last major bug to fall before we start releasing a bunch of new features that we're working on, is the servers and the back end. So that's why you guys have seen some kind of intermittent outages. It's because we're moving server racks and scaling up the back end. So, fixing that stuff is kind of the last critical bug to solve. And then from there forward, it's just if new bugs are found, if and when, we fix those in real time as we add new features. So we've already built 4 new features because obviously the whole team doesn't need to be working on the back end. So we've already started working on features while the back end is being updated. And we've already pushed 4 features into our testing server. And I'm planning on having those pushed before Friday to the production front end. And those 4 features right now are the yearly premium subscription option, which we can get into. We removed timestamps on the For You feed. I think the For You feed could get a lot more usage if there was no timestamps. So that's been kind of my personal opinion, is that a lot of people there's like this thing on Hive where you think if you're not looking at the latest thing that's been posted, it's almost like it's no longer relevant. I think a lot of that culture has to do with like the upvote culture on Hive and looking through the latest feed. Obviously on Threads, that's not the same. It's if you go to X and you go to your For You feed, you're looking at things that are 6 hours old, 12 hours old, 2 minutes old. Like For You is not meant to be a chronological feed. It's meant to just show you the most relevant things no matter when they were posted. So we're getting back to that by removing the timestamps on For You, which I think will help with that overall kind of sentiment around it. It will also create a lot more engagement on Threads because instead of only looking through the latest feed, you'll start to get mixed in with older threads, in the last 12 hours that are still relevant. So there's that. We added on the articles tab. Now you can see the community that a blog post was published in right on the front end. And then we made some visual updates to the way that articles can be viewed. A bunch of more updates are also on the way. So I said that there's 21 new features getting released this month in June, alongside obviously maintaining the steadiness of fixing bugs. So I'm pretty excited to start releasing features again. That is the enjoyable part of doing all this. Bugs just drive you absolutely insane, and it's not very fun to just be doing bug fixes all the time. So I'm excited to kind of be past that era and be back to kind of more visionary, feature development and design, which is what I ultimately enjoy the most. And for the yearly premium subscription, I know it's been a question for a long time. We made it so that if you pay for yearly, which obviously means you're paying for 1 year up front, you actually get 2 months of premium for free, which is a 16% discount or 20 HBD off. So instead of 120 HBD for 12 months, it's 100 HBD for 12 months.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get the yearly one. I mean, the fact that it has, what is it, like 20%? Yeah, like 20% discount.
So, technically it's 16%, but it's 2 free months. So instead of 120, it's 100.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one. I mean, of course, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, I don't have the liquids." Of course, yeah, I know it's gonna be hard because you usually get your rewards of the month and then use that HBD to buy the next month, etc., etc. But I mean, you can easily save that amount in what, 2 3 months, and then just do the full year. You're saving some money and you're still getting all of the benefits. So.
And you don't have to
Yeah,
remember to subscribe at the end of 30 days each month.
yeah, exactly. You don't have to remember to do it. And then I also responded to someone's thread earlier today. There's not many places where you can make an investment where there's a guaranteed 16% return. So it's kind of like if you know for a fact that you're going to be a premium subscriber for the next 12 months, it's kind of a no-brainer because it's like an immediate payoff, essentially. That's kind of how like saving money on something that you're going to buy works. I remember this clip from Mark Cuban a couple of years ago where he was talking about like saving money, investing and stuff. And he was talking about how if you can get something in bulk that you're going to need no matter what, and you can get a good discount on it because you're buying it in bulk, then it makes sense because you're essentially making a risk-free investment that has an immediate return. So I think the example that he used, which I actually use in my personal life, is toothpaste. Like there's certain places like go to Costco and you can buy like a massive box of toothpaste, and it's like you're going to need toothpaste 12 and 18 months from now, and you can buy it at a 35% discount if you buy it in bulk. So it's essentially like you're making 35% return on something by saving money, which is kind of a little bit counterintuitive, but just kind of an interesting way to frame it.
Yep, that's why Costco is a successful thing. Buying in bulk, the things you know you're going to use.
Yep.
Oh, I'm actually seeing a lot of new people. I saw Ben, I saw
Yeah,
Vince,
Ben.
Felix. Pretty cool. Welcome, guys. Do we have a repo link, a GitHub repo link, or it is in public? So if Felix, if you're talking about the INLEO interface, that's not public. And if you're talking about the LeoDex interface, I'm not sure, Kyle. Is it do we have anything
No, there's no
public?
public repo. The GitHub is managed by me and the devs, and essentially it's just my way of managing the devs and the roadmap. So we have GitHub dashboards where I can essentially record issues and then tell the devs which order to work on them.
That makes sense. Yeah, a lot of new people. That's pretty cool.
That's the goal. New users.
New users.
User base has to grow if premium wants to grow. You know what I mean? Because at some point there's a saturation point. I don't know what the stats are for X in terms of users versus number of premium users, but the reality is you're not going to have, you know, 100 of 100 signed up to premium. There's going to be some kind of percentage, 25, 30, 50, who knows what it is. So, um, focus on user base growth still needs to always be in the forefront. And that in turn will, help lead to growth in premium as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of focused on 20% month over month growth in terms of both monthly active users and premium kind of simultaneously. Um, we have 1,300 MAUs right now, and I obviously don't expect that 1,000 out of 1,300 would be premium. So I do think that we can have I think there's a very unique setup with INLEO, and I think that we can have a much higher percent capture of, total MAUs and how many are premium. Like Mitch was saying, that would be interesting to know statistically how many X users are monthly active users and what percentage of those are premium. I'm not sure if they publish that data because they're obviously a private company now. But I would venture to guess that our percent capture of premiums versus MAUs is actually a lot higher than X. I bet their percentage is a lot lower than ours. Because essentially the current MAUs and premiums, we're at 246 divided by 1,300. We've got 19% of our user base is premium. So I think that's actually really high if you were to compare it to other freemium platforms. So we need to scale MAUs and scale premium simultaneously. Vince said, what is the exact date of release for the 1-year subscription? I've been testing it on the test server, and I'm thinking before Friday, possibly as soon as tomorrow, but we'll see. Sometime between tomorrow and Friday, I would say is most likely.
Ahmad, he's asking about Nifty and saying he was helpful. Yeah, Nifty, where are you, man? We won during the AMA. Nifty was arrested for being naked in public. Yeah, I saw that one. Taskmaster.
I bet some people actually are going to believe that too.
Okay, so Fish is saying, Godfish. On the other hand, many premium subscriptions are just giving away, and many of those are not renewed. Yes, of course, and that's one of the things that works for INLEO and that we're actually testing right now is who do we want to gift premium? Why do we want to gift them? And how often do we want to gift premium subscriptions in general? Because of course you need when you have a new product, you have to push it to other people because otherwise they wouldn't even know that it exists. So what's the easiest way to make someone hear about something? You just gift them something that's something. So they know, oh, so this exists. Okay, I'll see how it works. Maybe I'll start poking around in Leo. I'll check what the benefits are. And then it's up to them to decide if they want to renew or not. Of course, there's gonna be people who will renew, there will be some that will not, and that's okay. That's inside our budget. We know that at least what did we determine? I think more than 50% of the people that we have given premium have not renewed their subscription. That means that almost 50% of the people that we did, they actually resubscribed. So we just need to find a way and the type of people, the profile of the people that actually will renew their subscription. Once we get there, which we are trying to do, uh, it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah, the way I've always looked at gifting premium is that it's it's kind of like a trial period. So it's like gifting people a free trial uh to essentially try premium for 1 month, and then if they like it and see the value of it, then they resubscribe. And like Eric said, I think like more than half of the people we gift premium to actually end up subscribing on their own. And I think there's a lot of factors. Like I think being premium on INLEO is just kind of a no-brainer in terms of the extra features that you get, and we're obviously working on adding a lot more features to that list. And then the second piece to that is that, the curation team actually has a dashboard where we track the rewards of premium users. And Leo.voter has about 4.7 million hive power right now. And the way we curate is that, first of all, the content has to be posted from inleo.io. Second of all, it has to meet certain quality standards. So you can't just post like a picture of a cat and then get a 20% off vote or something. So there's got to be certain quality standards, and I'm talking specifically about long form. And then if you are
Such
premium,
cat hate.
always cat hate. Just for Mitch and Task, I have a lot of cat hate. Um, and then if you are premium, then you get a bigger upvote. If you're not premium, you get a upvote, but it obviously isn't amplified. So I would look at premium as being kind of an amplifier where if you make good content, you make it from inleo.io, and you're not premium, you're going to get curated. If you do all those things and you are premium, then you're going to get curated more intensely, if that makes sense.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess that makes sense because no one said no.
Right.
I used to post a lot. I used to post every day. And it would be actually better for me to get premium just because the raw amount of quality, well, I like to think they're quality posts I get out would definitely be worth getting premium. And if there was like a premium plus or something like that, I would definitely get it because of the amount of posts I used to get out. Right now, I get out like 2, 3 posts a week, and it's still worth it. But for those who are actually hardcore content creators and threads creators, it's a no-brainer. So I wonder if we should get something like bring a premium lion and get 1 month for free or something like that, Cal. And then
Yeah. I've
basically swarm.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of a good referral system. Just in general, I mean, just for bringing people to INLEO in general. I think referral systems can be really, really popular. We already built a way to track referrals. So all of you guys can go to your settings page on INLEO and then get your own referral. There's a referral code and link that everyone has. And if someone signs up, then it will actually show up on your profile that you referred them. So we've built that. What we haven't built yet is a model for rewarding people based on referrals. So, in terms of general referrals, my goal is to build something where you essentially would get like 10% of the earnings or something similar to that. Kind of how centralized exchanges work if you've used their referral systems at all. A big way that they work is that, like, if you refer someone, then you get like 25% of the exchange fees that they pay, and then they get to keep like 5%. So you guys both get paid something. So I am trying to think of a way where we can basically build the same system where it doesn't cost the user anything, but it allows the referrer to earn and the referee to earn. And there's a couple things I have in mind about that. And I want to release it sooner than later. But one of the ideas I have is that we have obviously this curation upvote system with the Leo rewards pool. So it's very possible that we could just set up a Leo refer, like at Leo refer. That's like such a tongue twister account, and put a bunch of Leo power on it. And then the curation rewards, essentially the account would curate referrals, and then a percentage of that curation, like the referrals would earn from the upvotes that they're getting from that account, and then maybe the curation rewards would then get sent to the person that referred them. So essentially it's like, because like, let's say that the account can upvote for 10 Leo at 100% voting power or something. All else being equal, it upvotes the new user for like 10 Leo per month or whatever. And then the user gets to keep 5 Leo, and then the 5 Leo curation reward from that 10 Leo upvote is earned by that Leo refer account, and then it's sent to the person that referred that user specifically. So obviously there's a lot of variables that I'm leaving out to keep the math really simple, but that is one idea I have for creating a system for referrals and incentivizing them, and that's general referrals. So Eric mentioned referrals for premium. I have another idea for that, which is that you would, if you refer someone and they buy a certain amount of months of premium, then you would get 1 free month of premium, basically just added to your timer automatically. So you essentially you have your timer, right? And this is reminding me of the movie In Time, where time is the currency and you have your countdown clock on your arm. But essentially making it so that when you refer someone, if they buy like 3 months of premium, then on their 3rd month when they purchase premium, 30 days gets added to your clock as the person that referred them to premium. So like if you bought a year subscription, and let's say that you're down to like 9 months, and you had referred someone else and then they paid for 3 months of premium, then suddenly your clock would go from 9 months to 10 months automatically, and you get an extra month. So those are 2 essentially referral models that I'm kind of researching and trying to figure out the best ways to implement. But I want to say that I'm probably going to put a lot of focus into those next month in July. Because like I said, my core goal right now is I think we've built really good value capture models, and it's time to start scaling up our user base and our premium user base. And I think referral models will be kind of a key way to do that.
That movie had so much potential. I really liked it. The one with Justin Timberlake. It was
Yeah,
really
That's
yeah.
funny.
good. It was
No, it's
It
a
really
did have a
great
good.
lot of
movie. I
potential.
I think it could have been a lot better. I still
Yeah.
think it was a great movie, but I agree that the concept could be done even better.
Yeah. The concept was amazing. The execution, not so much. And yeah, like the movie was incredible up until like, I don't know, like 1 hour, and then it went down so hard. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I
That's
hate that
funny.
that director.
I've seen that movie actually multiple times. It was a pretty decent movie, but yeah, and it's funny because I was reading some article recently where kind of saying exactly what Eric was just saying about it was a disappointment in regard to what it could have been because like the second half basically just turned into like a like Bonnie and Clyde of time robbing,
Right.
you know? It was like kind of profound and then it just turned into a Bonnie and Clyde robbing spree, like
Yeah.
bring
We
down
should
the network.
we should
Um,
crowdsource the series, not like an Amazon or Netflix series because that would suck, but a real one. Bitcoin Flood is saying these backgrounds are fire. Glad you like them. Morty, shout out to Morty. He made them uh, all the way from Berlin. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
Morty's always good with the graphics.
Vince is saying if you refer lots of users, your subscription will become bigger and bigger. Yeah, that could actually be a good way to sell premium. Like if you just get all of your family members to come to Hive, create content, get premium, you get like of course it sounds like a I don't want to say it, but it sounds like a pyramid scheme where you just bring more people and you get more benefits. But in general, it is what it is, you know. That's exactly what it is. Bring more people, make them get premium, and you benefit from that. So yeah, basically, Vinny.
Typical referral system. Been around forever. At the end of the day, it works. I mean, you see even with like real estate brokerages, EXP has that model, and they were like the fastest growing brokerage in like the last decade. They exploded. And yeah, it basically kind of looks like a pyramid because everything's like layers of referral.
Yeah, and as long as there's a real product, I think that's kind of the key difference is that like, if you look at a lot of different models for businesses, the initial way that they grow is not necessarily sustainable. But what they do is they use a sort of unsustainable way to grow, get to a certain point, which they would call like a critical mass of users and subscribers and product. You know, um, what am I looking for word wise? Essentially, customers. They just get to use a general term. They get to a critical mass of customers in an unsustainable way, essentially losing money all along the way. But then they say, okay, now we're good. Now we flip the switch, and it's no longer, you're no longer spending money to get each customer. You're just kind of using that customer base to now drive profits. So there's a way to there's kind of a kind of model there in terms of leveraging to grow fast and then switching to a sustainable model. Um, you can look at a lot of different companies that have done similar things, and a lot of tech companies, especially where you burn cash, you burn, and then one day you flip to a profitable model.
You're trying to say that you're Amazon?
Amazon is a good example, for sure. Facebook is a good example. You build a product, get a bunch of users and customers, and then you focus on monetization down the line and cutting costs and essentially focusing on monetizing. But I think what we've
Yep.
done is really interesting in that along the way we're still monetizing. And because one thing I love about the software business is that um, it costs you nothing in terms of creating in terms of selling another product. Like you essentially you have like 95% margins and you build something once and then you can sell it as many times as you want. And you don't have any inventory costs or anything like that. It's just, you build a piece of software, you sell it, and then you can just keep selling it, selling it, selling it, and it doesn't cost you anything to sell it to the next person. That's why software companies and startups and tech companies in general are so valuable because, if you build something useful and a lot of people want it, you can just keep selling it, and each new marginal customer doesn't cost you anything.
Yep. Yeah. That's why a lot of people also, create digital products. You create it once and then that is it.
Absolutely.
Buy the
Godfish.
ebook.
By the ebook. Godfish is asking, question. On the other hand, if everyone becomes premium, what would be the meaning of premium? Uh, so maybe the name, I mean, I like the name premium, but it would be like if you're premium, it's because you are hardcore, so to speak. So, well, it does give the user more like some sort of clout or some sort of status. Premium is more focused into signaling support to INLEO, but also getting benefits that will eventually, and this is a social media platform that is driven by content rewards. So you are also getting premium to get more rewards on your content. In the end, we are part of a bigger ecosystem. So Hive has more users than INLEO in general. So it's obvious that if everyone on INLEO is premium, maybe those 1,300 or 1,500, whatever, they are all premium, so there's no difference between them. But the difference would be with the average or the regular Hive user that has to go through different hoops to get more visibility, to get more, to reach a bigger audience, to actually get more engagement. So yeah, I think that even if everyone on INLEO would be premium, there would still be an intrinsic advantage or an intrinsic benefit versus the normal Hive user or the average Hive user.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, there's one piece of it where there's clout and you get the check mark, and that's a part of being premium. But um, and like I said, I think that's one piece of it. I think the other piece of it is that it's more like Amazon Prime, where there's features to it that make your life better, and save you money, make your life better, just enhance your experience of the Amazon platform in general. Um, and I think INLEO Premium is very similar, which is why we don't call it like INLEO Verified, because I think if you called it like, and I think X kind of went down that route and then ultimately changed course, because if you just call it like verified, then it seems like the reason to do it is only so that you get the check mark. The check mark is just one feature. It's one, the clout part of it is essentially just one part of the, premium experience. The whole other basket of it is that there are features in it that bring a lot of utility and value to your life. Um, and like I said, I think Amazon is a great example of that, where if you use Amazon regularly, like I use Amazon a lot. I'm constantly like ordering stuff, anything from, books to, household items, to, furniture. I mean, you can get anything on Amazon these days. But if you're a heavy user of Amazon, it's like, okay, I could be a non-premium, non-prime member of Amazon and then pay, $300 a month in shipping fees because I'm ordering so much stuff. Or I could pay, I don't even know what Prime is. It's like $25 or something a month. Or I
Yeah,
could
I think
pay,
it's less than that.
yeah, I honestly, I don't look. It's something like that, right? Like 25 bucks a month. Or I could
Well, in
pay
that
that
case,
amount and just get unlimited shipping and buy stuff whenever I want and never worry
yeah.
about it. And it's faster shipping. It's faster and it's free. So it's
Well,
like no brainer.
yeah, and it's not like, everyone else having Amazon Prime makes it invaluable to you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. My point is that you've got two baskets. You've got the one basket where you get clout, and then you've got the other basket where it's actual utility to your life, that makes your life better. So like if 100% of Amazon users were premium or prime, then it wouldn't deteriorate the value of being prime. It would, the value is exactly the same.
Yep.
Morty's comment made me think. So he said, I just started listening on the bike on my way home from a show. Got some decent activity for my Activate account. So I wonder, is it ever on the table to have premium, like if you're premium on INLEO, you get added benefits on other dApps or maybe other dApp users get a discount to get in Leo if they get something like maybe this is more to ask myself if we should strive to get some partnerships or collaborations with other projects about this, but and I
Yeah,
mean maybe even outside of Hive.
yeah. So I messaged you about that. I think like a week or two ago because I was looking at one of my credit cards, and if you have a credit card that has a lot of benefits on it, you can essentially they partner with different like restaurants and stores each month and give you discounts for being a credit card holder. So like an example is like I look at my credit card and I can go to the Nike store and get like 10% off this month. Or if I go to gas stations, I get 5% cash back or whatever. Um, and those are like there's a huge list of just like benefits and partners and I thought that that would be a good if we can find a bunch of different partners, like for example Splinterlands being a good local example on Hive. What if we could get like a 10% discount code one time per month for premium users that's unique to each premium user, and essentially there's like a page on INLEO where you go to that page and then it links out to all the different partners that we have. And if you're a premium subscriber, then you get discount codes for them, which, for us, it obviously doesn't cost us anything for that. And then we get the premium subscribers. And then for those platforms, it's essentially marketing for their platform to the entire premium user base of INLEO, which is a high quality user base to market to, because that first of all, they're spending money to be premium. So that they have money to spend as customers. And then also they're in the obviously Web3 ecosystem space. So if you have a platform like Splinterlands, it's kind of like a no-brainer crossover. And then I know Simple Game, Taskmaster mentioned it too. Also in the spaces yesterday, you guys did the Hive town hall. I know Simple Game has been building something where premium users, INLEO premium users, get a discount of some kind on what he's building. So I think that's kind of already starting to happen without us actually doing anything. But I do think there's a very good potential for us to reach out to other platforms and start building relationships. And you could imagine that maybe we have like 25 different partners that we kind of rotate in every month and get discount codes and then provide them. And that's just another value add for being premium.
Yeah, I like that. And I do remember that you mentioned Splinterlands. There's so much in our plate right now. I haven't even had
Yeah.
time to check that right now.
Yeah, like I said, my core goal is to grow the monthly active users on INLEO, grow the premium subscribers by 20% a month, every month, and then also grow LeoDex affiliate revenue. And those three things are the flywheel for the Leo token. So those are my core goals right now. But yeah, I mean, we have an API built for premium as well. So like if there's other Hive platforms out there that want to integrate something for premium users on their platform, the API, like we've built the APIs, you guys can go and you can see the premium user list on inleo.io. And we can actually, if other apps want to come to us with ideas and they need like some sort of custom API built to pull data about premium users, we can definitely build APIs that help them out, and then essentially give premium users more access, more rewards and whatnot. Like you can imagine, like you can imagine that the premium that you buy on INLEO could extend to something like ActiveFit, for example, where maybe you get a check mark on ActiveFit if you're INLEO Premium.
Big Van is asking, how do you help those that constantly engage in threads but faces down count of research credit, logging them off of engagement? Well, I mean, if you are someone that engages a lot on Leo and you don't have enough high power and your research credits deplete too often, you can either reach out to anyone from the team or anyone like, for example, Taskmaster, Addicted, Bitcoin Flood, and Nylon, Nifty, all of these, you could call them power users or hardcore lions. They would definitely delegate you some resource credits. But if they don't, or if you cannot get a hold of them, you can always reach out to the team and we will delegate some resource credits to you.
Yeah, and I do have something on the roadmap. I don't know when we're going to get around to it, but I have something on the roadmap where if you sign up through INLEO and then use Threads, and you run out of resource credits, or your account starts to run low on resource credits, our system will automatically delegate you more RCs. So that is on the roadmap, and essentially an automated system. But in the meantime, like Eric said, just reach out to somebody who's active on Threads. Honestly, anybody with a check mark, anyone who's premium, is pretty likely to be the type of person that would delegate you some RCs. And
So,
oh, go ahead.
speaking of doing things on Threads, I don't know if you guys saw in the Threadcast Morty's post, call to action, when soon show background donations here, which I just 100% upvoted. But I right-clicked it because I'm like, oh, I could share this into a thread in the Threadcast myself. And I'm like, wait, I'm not going to rethread because rethread will have it me just post it as a regular thread. So I'm assuming copy link and then dump that into the
A reply.
Threadcast.
Yeah, and it will automatically frame it
Yeah.
in terms of a rethread
So
visual design.
A, just basic functionality, kind of chatter to get out there, and also B, to bring attention to Morty's thread in the Threadcast. If you think his background's a fire, feel free to upvote the T-Man. And if you
Absolutely.
haven't, and if you ever need graphics or background, hit him up.
100%. 100%. Yeah, and I saw someone ask, speaking of curation on Threads, I lost the thread where someone was asking about it. But I have been thinking a lot about how we can increase curation activity on Threads specifically. So you guys probably know I'm pretty active on curating threads, but that being said, I'm still one person and I can't curate every single thread that gets posted. So I do curate a lot of threads. My upvote is worth, I think, about like 48 cents or something at a 5% upvote. So I use obviously 5% when I upvote every single thread, just to not run out of voting power. But I have been thinking about an idea, and I talked with a few people privately about it already, but I want to pick a few lions out of the community who are really active on threads, who I can delegate some Leo power to. And they can essentially just keep doing what they're doing, but maybe do it at a more high level and a little bit more active level in terms of curation. So if you're interested in if you're already really active on threads and you find that you already curate a lot of threads and you're already like making a lot of threads and whatnot, as a power user, and you want a little bit more responsibility, DM me, find a way to contact me in some way. And this is going to be kind of like an unofficial curator role, specific to threads, where I will delegate you some Leo power. And I've already talked to one person about this. And in exchange for that delegation, the only thing I'll ask for is that every once a week, I want like a mini report from you on everyone you've upvoted, just kind of like a quick report that you can run and a quick few bullet points about like feedback that you hear, things about thread, like kind of like an on the ground, like guerrilla marketing type of report that you can send to me once a week. And that is all I ask in exchange for the delegation. And then obviously I ask that you curate a lot of threads, curate widely and curate people based on quality. And obviously the team and I will be watching to make sure that you're, kind of fulfilling that. But if you're interested in that and you want the extra responsibility, just find a way to DM me and we can talk about it.
Hey, that's a cool thing you did there, Luis, where you're using the HTML feature of Threads to have like a moving thread. I don't know if you can see it, Kyle, Cat. It's like
Yeah.
the fifth from top to bottom. Pretty cool. I wonder what the code in this one is.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Let's
That's
Yeah.
pretty.
check.
I do think it's cool, but he's telling people to sell Leo. So I don't think that's cool.
Hey, what? I wasn't reading the message. I was just. It reminded me of like you guys remember, or I mean, they still have them. The airplanes with the
Yeah.
banner in the air. I mean, I grew up like whatever near the beach, so I used to see that a lot in the summertime. That's
Yeah.
what it
We
looks
we
like
get a
today. It
good
looks
amount
like
of
the flying
those
banner.
over here, over the lake. We get a good amount of those.
It's too funny.
I mean, you can always just uh
Well,
power up some Hive
I was
by
just say,
buying
take
with
some Hive
HVD.
and get some Hive power. I don't
I
even.
personally, I wouldn't
Here's a
to Leo.
here's a newbie question. How does one delegate RC power? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people in here that have never done that.
You can use keychain. There's a delegate RC feature. It's the same as delegating Hive power, but essentially just a different module for it.
Yeah.
But the process is the same.
Hell, I'd probably be more inclined to delegate resource credits than Hive power because at the end of the day, I'm not going to run out of resource credits for what I'm doing. Um, I have more than I need, but when I delegate Hive, I'm no longer getting the benefit of that Hive from my curations and whatever else.
Right. Yeah, it actually is a pretty cool feature that wasn't always there.
Nope, wasn't there back in the day. That's why I kind of never really engaged with it. Kind of just never really clicked that it was like a kind. I knew it was available, but just yeah. Wise Agent said, it's very sad to see great posted threads not receiving good rewards. You know what? You're correct, sir. And at the same time, Cat doesn't really feel bad because it happens to everybody. And I'll always go back to the Cat published every day for a year on Steam when he first got on and received zero to a penny in regards to his curation love and rewards. So those who grind hard, grind on. So it's in fact, I'm more inclined to 100% upvote someone that is putting out content just for the joy of putting out content and building their following, their community, um, and going through that initial period of uh, no instant gratification. Taskmaster just put a one test using HTML. It's working. He's got his little flying banner thread. Now everyone's trying it.
Yeah,
Seahall
Taskmaster
just did
said if
it.
you're a content creator, there's a thing called marketing. Treat your account as a business. I've been a big believer in that ever since the day I joined Steam, which was like over 8 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But um, it's been such a long time. But that was always a thing,
I'm
your
getting
account.
distracted by task.
Oh, your account is a business. And on this blockchain, you build your brand and you can earn more rewards over time by, getting more engagement, getting more whales to follow you, getting more people just in general kind of interacting with your content. Um, and being consistent is obviously a big part of that. But I do really think that that is the right approach when it comes to Hive in general, and obviously using INLEO. If you're using threads, if you're using articles, to try to earn rewards and build your business, then you should treat it like a business and focus on marketing, focus on getting more attention. And this is a big part of how we've built the premium model, which is, to obviously tie it back to premium. A lot of the ideas behind premium are that by being premium, you obviously get the check mark, but also your threads and your blog posts actually appear more in the feeds. So they rank higher than people who are not premium. And a part of the reason for that is that the idea is, you're essentially investing in being premium. And by investing, you're telling everybody else on the platform, I'm invested in the platform, and I'm also showing up more in your feed. So then you can get more engagement and get more upvotes on your content. So I think going forward, that's going to become a bigger and bigger deal, especially as the platform grows in terms of size, in terms of total monthly active users. Appearing more in the feeds is going to get more and more important. I think a lot of people on X, and I know this out of personal experience too, a lot of the value you get out of being a, premium X user is that you appear more in For You feeds. So like a lot of people have done all these types of A/B tests where they create an X account and they don't get premium, and they create an X account and they get premium. And the premium account gets like 10 times more engagement, 10 times more views, 10 times more likes and retweets. You just get a lot more exposure by being premium on X. And that ultimately has become like a big reason for paying. And I think they're charging like $20 a month now. I think that's become a big reason for paying for X Premium. So that's already a feature that we've built into the INLEO platform. And like I said, growing our MAUs is going to increase the value of being premium, because you'll be in front of a lot more people and a lot more eyeballs.
Yep. Consistency is key. That, or I guess shock and awe and hope it goes viral.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at
and a
the
lot
end
of
of the
people
day,
have complained because on X, if you're not premium, it's almost like impossible to go viral. So I've seen a lot of
mm,
people complain about that it's like a little bit too, it's a little bit too restrictive, is what some people say.
that Lewis's last one is cool. HTML. He's got the INLEO badge floating across. That's cool. A couple minutes ago, he posted it. Lewis 88. That is definitely getting an upvote. That looks cool.
Yeah, I think the next, we kind of started this AMA out talking about it, but in the next couple of months, we're going to add the Only Leos feature. And I saw Tass talk about Nifty's feet picks, which made me remember it. But I do think the Only Leos model is going to be another big value capture mechanism for the Leo token. And obviously, it's going to be another, where not only is it going to be a bigger value capture mechanism for the Leo token directly, but it's also going to be a premium only feature, so that you have to be premium if you want to build a subscription model, for essentially having like a paywall on your content. So like Taskmaster, for example, can hold one of his blog posts per day and put it behind a paywall. And then in order to read it and see it and view it and comment on it, you'll have to pay, like $4.99 a month to Taskmaster. And then the INLEO platform will collect a small percentage of that as essentially like a platform fee. And then the rest of it would go to Taskmaster. And you could really see that, if we're at 10,000 MAUs by the end of the year, and let's say that, there's 100 kind of big authors on INLEO like Taskmaster, and let's say that each of those authors has, you know, let's just say each of those authors has 10 subscribers, like, and which is obviously super tiny. But let's just say that means that there's 1,000 total people that are now paying $4.99 a month to, their favorite 100 authors, and then a small percentage of that, which would be obviously, 5 times 1,000, $5,000 a month. A small percentage of that then gets kept by the Leo token as platform revenue. So that is another big value capture model that grows alongside the platform. So I'm very excited about these different value capture mechanisms, which ultimately go towards the bigger vision of INLEO, which is build a great platform that people love to use, build a great community around it, scale that up. And while you scale that up, you have these value capture mechanisms that are just collecting revenue from each set of growth that you have. And all that 100% of that value capture goes back to the Leo token, which then drives that flywheel and gives people more of a reason to be active because the token price goes up. So I'm very interested in that model, and we'll be pulling a lot of inspiration from Substack for that.
Vince is asking if is paywall similar to the promoted section on eSency? No, paywall is like Substack, you could say, or like any other
Yeah, like
publication.
Substack would be the
Yeah,
best.
where you have to pay to access content, special content. You could call it like it could be also like OnlyFans, right? Like a model where you have to pay to see content no matter what it is.
Yeah, you can. I mean, when it's built, the author who creates the paywall will be able to decide whatever goes behind that paywall. So, if Taskmaster suddenly, he makes, I don't know, 6 articles a day or something. If he suddenly decides that he only wants one of his articles to be public facing, then he can choose to have one article be public facing and the other 5 articles are behind a paywall, or vice versa. If he wants to make 5 public facing and one behind a paywall, he can do it however he wants. Or there might be an author that comes in, and I actually think this is going to happen. I kind of foresee somebody coming over from X and saying, I want to, build another stream of revenue for myself. So I'm going to come over to INLEO. Obviously, I have to become premium, and then I can make a premium or a paywall for some of my content, and then I can start driving users over to INLEO to view my specific profile and subscribe for that access. So I think there's going to be a lot of use cases for that. And the plan is also, I think at launch, it's going to be where you can put threads and blog posts behind the paywall. And then the idea is that probably a few months later, one of the next features that we roll out for that will be a chat feature where you can actually chat with the author, but only if you're one of their subscribers. You can basically have like a private chat with them. So I think that's going to be a whole nother layer of value.
Yeah, and that's also one of the that's so one of the main features of SocialFi in general is this access to authors or content creators and being part of a club or part of an inner circle. So it only makes sense that we move not that way, but that we amplify the features that we have to cover also that. So I like it.
Yeah, and it's very possible that there's like a big I saw Bitcoin Flood put out only Leo join now, only $4.99 a month with like a cosplay girl. And I actually could foresee that there could be potentially like an NSFW section of only Leos. I mean, we joke and we call it only Leos, but really what it's going to be is like a Substack type of feature. The target audience is going to be more like, journalists and stuff who want to have a premium paywall behind their content. But that being said, I mean, we're building the technology and you can use it for whatever you want. So definitely possible that there could be like an NSFW section of these paywall accounts, which drives revenue into the Leo token. So who cares how people use it as long as you properly segment NSFW, I think it's fine.
Yeah, not the target, but certainly could happen.
Certainly could. Certainly could. Yeah, Taskmaster said, build the features and expand the offerings to the people who show up here. This is where the massive flywheel effect resides. Yeah, it's like I said at the beginning of this. I think that, over the past 5 years, we've obviously been building a lot of different pieces of technology. But I think it's all kind of culminated to this point in time where now we have premium, we have LeoDex, we have the Hive aggregation technology. We've got these value capture models in place now that we didn't have before, that I think are actually like very valuable from a user perspective. And it's almost like a dream scenario now where these value capture models are in place and all we need to do is scale up. So, if we can make, and a lot of people talk about this in any business, the hardest part of building a business is making your first dollar. It's getting your first customer. That's the hardest part. It's you know a lot easier to scale from 100,000 in revenue to 200,000. You know, like the first 100,000 is harder. The second 100,000 is a lot easier. You know, kind of all those different uh, kind of examples that people tend to use when they talk about business. Um, I think INLEO is in a really interesting place now where, like I said, we're able to generate like $2,600 in revenue per month, which is obviously pretty tiny. That being said, the fact that we're able to generate that means that we're also able to scale that 10x, 20x, 100x, and all of that revenue goes back into the Leo token. So really, what we need to do now is just scale the models that we've built. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think we're beyond one of the hardest parts, which is to figure out a model where you can actually make revenue, which we've been kind of trying to tackle for the last 5 years. And I think we've solved, you know, in the recent, you know, last couple months. And you know, kind of scaling from here now is really where we need to shine, is scaling from 2,400, 2,600 to, you know, 5,600 to 10,000 to 20,000 to 100,000.
Sorry that I take so long to speak, but I have to turn off the fan and unmute myself both on Zoom and Spaces. I need to get an air conditioner
We need to
or
get you a big red button that you can just press it and it turns everything off.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so hot in here. Yeah. Kyle, when air conditioner for the team?
Sounds
When air
like
conditioner.
not US. Sounds like not US problems.
Oh, come on, you live in Florida. Of course you have those problems.
Well, the funny part is, well, yeah, Florida Central AC, but I literally just got back last night from Massachusetts, and most houses up there don't have central air. They either have no AC or they have window units, and I was crashing at my partner's place, and luckily it was a pretty cool night, except for Sunday night. It was pretty warm, and yeah, I was sleeping, and it was a little hot and uncomfortable. And I was like, wow, I haven't done this in a while. Been spoiled down in Florida.
Yeah, it is. We are spoiled with air conditioning. I keep my house at a brisk 67 degrees. So
What? That is
yeah.
cold.
For those who don't know, which is like 99.99% of the population, 67 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius is what, like 30? Like 21, 20, oh, 20, 1944 Celsius. Wow, that is cold.
I'm
Good old
American.
Celsius.
I don't know what Celsius means.
I know it's funny. I forget like until I go, out of the country that, oh yeah, pretty much no one uses the nonsense we do.
Yeah, but 20
Miles.
degrees is crazy. Like I do know that I get sleepy around 4 p.m. because of the temperature, so I should definitely get something that cools it down in here, but 20 is way low.
Cal's Cal's gonna send Eric one of those fans that also mists. Like, here you
Oh
go, here's your
yeah.
upgrade, buddy.
Big upgrade. Big upgrade. It clips right onto the edge of your desk.
Misting. Too
Yeah.
funny. No, valid.
Yeah, there's this
Portable
thing. I mean, there's
AC.
been a lot of research that you should, to sleep better and sleep deeper, you should be cold. Like being cold is better for good sleep. Um, I've been researching this mattress called 8 Sleep. They just came out with like a new mattress
Yep.
pod thing.
Yep.
The thing I can't get over is that it's like, I don't even know, it's like 5 grand. It's like
It's it's not
kind
yeah,
of
it's not
crazy
that
just for
much,
a
but it's
mattress cover,
yeah, it's
not even a
expensive.
mattress.
Yeah, the mattress cut no, I think the mattress covers like 3 grand, but you can get the actual mattress, I think they have too, which is dumb expensive.
Well, I don't know if it's I still don't think it's a mattress. I think it's
I
like something that
think
goes underneath your mattress.
I could have sworn they had both a mattress cover and they actually had a mattress. I could be wrong though. I don't know. I just hear it because
Oh, I think you can get the mattress, but the
I listened
mattress cover,
to
I guess, is what you really want.
yeah, I listened to obviously Tim Ferriss. That's one of his like regular sponsors on his podcast. Yeah, it's not cheap. I was looking into it at one point. But yeah, it is pricey. It's more than I even paid for my mattress just for the cover. I
Yeah,
wonder if it has any other benefits because I think there's some kind of electric indoor electromagnetic stuff going on. And did you see that
yeah,
like people now are using um these like I don't know, electric based
yeah. I forgot
mattress
what they're
covers
called.
for
They're like EMTs or
yeah,
something.
for like grounding. It's basically like the
Yeah,
equivalent of like, you know, grounding, getting
sleeping
your
on the
feet
ground.
outside on the ground and
It's like touching grass for people that don't want to actually touch grass.
right. I mean, pretty soon you'll be able to do all the things without even leaving your house.
Yeah, I mean, you could just, I know
Just
people that
plug.
have just like built them like these pads into their mattresses, and it's basically just a short like electromagnetic pulse that you can't even really feel, but it's meant to be grounding or whatever, make you improve your mood and whatever. People are into all
Crazy.
sorts of crazy shit now.
Like I
But I
said,
am like the type of person where I can't sleep if it's really hot. So I like to sleep in a really cold environment. And that's why I've been looking into that mattress cover because it essentially puts like a pod next to your bed that's filled with water, and then it circulates cold water through your mattress to cool you down.
oh, I
And
didn't
you
even know
can,
that's how it worked.
yeah, it's like a big pod that you fill with water, and then it circulates with water. It's basically like liquid cooling for a PC, but for your mattress.
Interesting. Yep. Got to stay cool when you're sleeping.
Yep.
Anyway, that was random.
Totally random topic.
Well, what do we got? Quarter to two. So we've been going well over an hour. We got any final questions that came through? Otherwise, I'm good with
Yeah,
starting to
do
wrap
we want to
things
do
up.
like I think we've gotten all the questions covered, which is why we got into a mattress discussion. But um, do we want to talk about the markets for like 4 minutes before we jump off?
Well, and before that, we should acknowledge Morty just posted 500 comments. Woohoo. 500 on this
Doesn't suck.
threadcast. So that's pretty cool. I don't think we've done that in the last couple.
Yeah, this has been a pretty engaged threadcast, and I accidentally didn't record the first 30 minutes of it for the AMA recording. I usually overlay the threadcast, and I forgot to hit record, so that was fun.
That's all good. The first 10 minutes is just getting into a groove. So really they only missed like, you know,
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes of good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think too
Um,
much was missed.
and 512 comments. Yeah. The market, well, I mean, it's not up a lot, but Bitcoin went up while I was away from keyboard working on houses up north. So
It always happens
that's
that way.
good. Always happens, which is funny because I was when I was up there, I'm like, oh, when I get home, I want to grab a little Bitcoin because at this point, 66 seems like a good price. Um, I saw a article today. They track Bitcoin versus the M1 money supply and that, you know, ratio and essentially whatever. I guess there was just some kind of breakout that, you know, happened in the last it happened technically just about every bull market, um, except for 2020, where like I don't know, it went to a high, but it didn't like break out past the prior high. Point is, essentially, Bitcoin is like I guess gone on a run every time this has happened in that Bitcoin to M1 money supply comparison. So, and every time it was a blow off top as well. So I'm like, well, I don't know if this guy's right, but if he is, I'll take it. Like I'm ready for Bitcoin to give us 100K blow off top. I'm fine with that. We can call it a bull market if we clock six figures. I wouldn't be mad, but we shall see. We've been consolidating for a while now, so that's good. Big move, consolidation, ideally to make the next stair step up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Here's
I
that is
saw you know, a few different reports, but essentially people talking about how you know, they believe that Bitcoin is finally on its way to kind of flipping gold, especially with the ETFs now in place. I think Chamath Palihapitiya, pretty famous VC investor was
I'm,
talking about that.
I'm impressed you pronounced his name.
I'm brown. I can pronounce it.
Ha!
He's a brown guy. Uh, he was talking about how he believes that Bitcoin is going to flip gold. And that's kind of been my core thesis for really since I got into Bitcoin. And back then, I think the market cap of gold was more like $9 trillion. So I think the price of Bitcoin to flip gold at 21 million Bitcoins was like 400K. I think now gold is more like $14 trillion or something. So the price is more like 600 or 700K per Bitcoin. So, I'm a pretty big believer in that thesis, but I think it could take a long time to play out. So, I don't think we're going to reach like 400, 500K in this cycle, maybe next cycle. But I do think that 100K is kind of inevitable. He on the All In podcast that he does with three other VCs. They were talking about Bitcoin, and he did some research on Bitcoin price after the halvening. And maybe I'll write a blog post and share those charts that he put up on the screen during their podcast. But essentially, he was looking at the price of Bitcoin in the last halvenings, and we all know this as people that have been in Bitcoin for a long time. But in the 8 to 18 months that follow the Bitcoin halvening, Bitcoin just kind of steadily grinds upwards, essentially. So I think all of us have been kind of waiting for that, and now we're over 70K again. And there's going to be drawdowns. I think there's an average of like 5 to 6, 20% drawdowns or something in each cycle. So I'm definitely curious to see where we go, but I think it's pretty much inevitable that in the next 6 to 18 months, Bitcoin is going to be materially higher than it is now.
Well, speaking of, we're back over 70K.
Here's a rabbit hole for you and for guys in the audience. There's this theory, and you can just Google it or search for it in Twitter or whatever, but that says that we're still in the same cycle that started in 2018. So the first cycle of Bitcoin, yeah, there was like the very first one. Then you had the cycle that peaked in 2017, and the cycle that started in 2018 is still game right now. So it's been 6 years, and we are about to see the culmination of this super cycle, 6 year cycle, and that because of the NFT DeFi summer thing that happened in 2021, 2022 was fueled by the COVID, all of the money that flowed in, et cetera, but that we haven't really experienced the peak of this bull market has been brewing for 6 years. So it's pretty interesting. I don't know if I believe it, like fully believe it, but it's something to think about, because some people are saying that this cycle is going to be shorter, and some people are saying no, it's because this cycle hasn't, like, the length of this cycle is so much longer than the previous ones that it feels like it's going to be short, but in reality it's going to be much longer than the previous ones. Something to research or read about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the kind of nature of the cycles, is that like everyone kind of has a rough idea of what is going to happen. Like we all know that Bitcoin is going to go higher, but nobody knows the timing of how things go, and everyone has different theories on, what cycle we're in, what stage of the cycle we're in, what the top is going to look like, what the bottom is going to look like. And that is really the fundamentals of how a market works. Because if we all knew for sure that by December, Bitcoin is going to be, $250,000 per Bitcoin, then, everyone would be a billionaire. So that's my favorite tagline is like, if you knew what was going to happen with the markets, then you'd be a billionaire, because you'd be just printing money by making trades and timing everything perfectly. But clearly, fundamental market practices is that nobody really knows when things are going to happen. But if you're a believer in the technology and have a long enough time scale, you kind of know that the price is going to go up. It's more just a matter of what happens in between now and then. and if you can kind of hold on for whatever target you have in mind for the long term.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Well, I think we did a good job covering everything. I'm sure we got some nice clips out of that too, in terms of the market. Um, in terms of development, like I said, we've got a bunch of new features that are coming out this week after our kind of hiatus from adding features and focusing on bugs. So definitely excited to release the yearly premium option, and a couple other core features. Expect a few things that are kind of premium centric. I mentioned that in the last couple months that we would focus on building extra pieces of the dashboard. So I think one of the big features that will be live before next Monday is going to be the premium advanced view of the dashboard. So that'll be pretty fun, pretty cool. And then, like I said, 21 new features this month, and most of them are aimed at premium. So definitely will be fun to release those. Any closing thoughts, Mitch or Eric?
No, I kind of shared my thoughts on the market, which really is just my thoughts on Bitcoin. Um, there's plenty more to that. Obviously, with Ethereum now in play in terms of ETFs and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think I'm just waiting for altcoin season like everybody else.
Yep. That's the crazy thing. We're not even in altcoin season yet. So like everyone's asking when moon, when Leo to the moon, when Hive to the moon, when Rune to the moon. But we aren't in altcoin season yet. So the craziness hasn't even begun. That's my opinion.
Yep, I really need all season at some point this year, which is funny. Some people are saying that the top will come on 2024, but anyway, I am down around 45% since the top 2 months ago, right before the halving. So when out season, please. But
That's
yeah.
some good tracking. I have no idea where I'm at from the recent. I know where I'm at from the last bull market top, but not from the little top a couple months ago. Good stuff.
How I know because I was very, very close on selling 80% of my portfolio because I had something telling me that this was not real, that we would experience a huge capitulation, blah blah blah, a huge dump, which we did. I didn't sell anything because I told myself that I was being a coward. So I know perfectly where we were 2 months ago and where my portfolio was, which sucks.
Yep, I know that feeling from
How
some
it goes.
bull markets gone past. But we haven't hit my targets in this one. When we do, the cat will be locking in, and a lot of that will be leveraging coins. I will do some selling, but I don't want to sell a lot, so I will just leverage the coins instead so I can keep them.
Yep. Definitely going to be interesting if you can use lending and other tools that are available now that weren't before. So
Yeah, I mean, lending against, wrapped Bitcoin is great. I'm sure, I don't know if it's out there. I haven't looked to see if there's any protocols where you can, like, lend native Bitcoin and borrow against it. I haven't
Thorchain,
looked. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thorchain, right there,
that is
staring
the
me in the
only place you can
face.
do it.
Staring me in the face. Well, there you go. Because, I mean, at this point, I have leverage against wrapped Bitcoin, but I don't want to wrap more Bitcoin to leverage it. Like, I want to keep native Bitcoin. Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I will just sit around until Bitcoin moons and I can borrow against it on Thorchain. Until then,
That is the way.
swap on LeoDex.
Yep.
All right.
Sweet.
See you guys next Tuesday.
Yep. Thanks, guys. We have a chain chatter tomorrow at noon Eastern. I'm not sure who the guest is going to be yet, but Eric and I will put out some tweets and threads to announce the guest and who we're going to have. So join us for the chain chatter. We'll post that so you can set a reminder probably in the next couple hours. And then there is a Lion's Den this Friday hosted by Taskmaster at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then other than that, see you guys for the next Tuesday AMA on the 11th.
See you guys.
Word. Have a
Peace.
good one.
Yep.